All right, everyone. Hello, Barons fans. I'm Bryce Koon, the Media Relations Assistant for your Birmingham Barons, and I'm here with the brand new manager of the Barons, the young guy, Justin Jirschele. And Justin, how you doing, man? I know you're back home. Oh, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, you were gearing up ready for a season, and now you're kind of at home. But how's this time off been for you? What have you been doing?
Well, we recently had our first baby daughter born in October, October 1st. So spent a lot of time with her, obviously in the off season, and then went down to spring training for about just shy of a month, and unexpectedly traveled back home, and now just spending time with her and my wife Liz, and just trying to stay safe and soak up as much time as I can with the family before heading back.
And I know, too, you're not going to be able to complain about that. Although the season's kind of paused right now, you're not going to be complaining about getting to spend time with the family or getting to spend time with your brand new daughter, and that's exciting. But, yeah, we're just doing this just to kind of talk to, get the fans. They want to know who you are, who's going to be managing their Barons this year. And so you played, obviously, and we've talked about this before. You've gone on so many interviews talking about this. But, man, what does it mean to get to come to a city like Birmingham? And I'm in my first year with Birmingham. That stadium's beautiful. I mean, that's a top flight stadium. What does it mean for you to come back and to be a part of the Barons on this side of it?
Yeah, it's special. Obviously, I played there in two different stints on two different parts of years. And, like you said, the ballpark's immaculate. The fans, they come out every single night and support us. It's just exciting. I'm excited to be in the great town of Birmingham again and work with the great people in the front office of Birmingham. And obviously very fortunate that the White Sox gave me the opportunity to manage the ball club there. And again, just really excited to get going whenever that time comes.
Yeah, whenever that time comes, that's the big question mark in baseball right now. But you talked about managing. You talked about this is something, that you've been a part of. You've kind of gone through the White Sox system as a player, and now you're entering as the coach manager role. What are some of the biggest differences now that you've been at each of these levels that you see that maybe you didn't see when you were a player?
There's not a whole lot. It's the same game. You're just on the other side of it. But I think being on the coaching side, you really start to see how much time the coaching staff puts in, and all the way to the front office, and everything that kind of goes into the game itself behind the scenes. It's special. Everybody's pulling from the same rope, and we're all in this thing together, and that's the message we try to relay to our players is, we're always together. We're here for them, and obviously they're first and foremost in our plan as far as helping the Chicago White Sox.
You talked about the White Sox. Obviously, there's a history of coaching in baseball in your family with your dad and everything. You growing up got to see that. Was that something that you knew whenever your playing career came to an end, whenever that was, that you said, yeah, I want to stay in baseball and I want to be a coach and eventually become a manager? Was that something that you had planned out since you were a little boy, or were you just like you saw dad do that? And how did that come about?
Yeah, I think obviously growing up around the game of baseball and on the professional side of things really helped kind of lead me in that direction. But there was never really a time where I told myself I want to do this, or I'm gonna do this per se. Obviously I knew if the opportunity arose, it would probably be something that I would experiment with, or take the reins on and go for it. But it wasn't ever anything that I really said, okay, this is what I really, really want to do. Now that I'm into it, I'm glad obviously that I did. And this is something that I really want to continue doing, and, continuing to help players and move them along ultimately to get them to Chicago.
You talked about some of those players, but this system is really loaded right now, and they're seeing some guys that are starting to creep up into that major league ranks. You got to see a guy in last year, Luis Robert, who in Birmingham tore up through 3 levels. What was your impression of him and some of these other young guys? What kind of impression did they leave on you? Seeing you're only 29, so you're seeing these guys, and they're 7, 8 years younger than you, but some talented guys have come through this system. What's been an impression that's been left on you?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's an exciting time right now. Obviously, like I said, had just shy of a month of baseball at spring training there in Arizona. Just very exciting to see the talent level that we have on the fields, and from top to bottom. I think our front office has done a tremendous job putting these pieces in place, and with trades and the international draft and the American draft and what have you. The guys that we've acquired and the guys that we've went out and got through the draft and things like that. It's exciting. It's an exciting time to see that much talent and know that they're part of us. And again, we're all in this thing together, and to know that they're with us, and just have a chance to put them in the lineup and see what they can do. And again, ultimately help us win ball games as they move forward on their path to become major league players.
I know development, you talked about that. You were hinting on that as a really big thing for you and your coaching philosophy for a lot of these young guys getting to the next level. But how important, and this can come off as, kind of those obvious questions, but how important is winning at the minor league level? I mean, because some teams have very successful minor league teams that they're really good when they get to major leagues. But in recent history, we've seen some minor league teams that you saw those group of guys and they were winning championships. How important for you as a manager is it to, really win and get those guys excited about winning, playing together?
Yeah, I think definitely, like you said, development, excuse me, first and foremost it's about development, getting these guys better, making sure they get their work in each and every day. But I'm a firm believer in that winning is a part of development, and it's a key part of development. We got to find a way to be able to develop these guys and know, so they know what it takes to win. And the daily grind of the minor league schedule and things like that. And so you can't lose sight of winning ball games. But obviously, like I said, development comes first and foremost. But I do think, a big key is trying to win some ball games, and the more ball games you win, the more fun you're having. Guys are more excited to come to the ballpark every single day and put in the work, and because I think everybody can attest to those seasons we've had where, you're dragged down by you going to the ballpark every night knowing you're going to get beat, or, knowing that your talent level doesn't quite stack up to whoever you're playing that night. And it can be a drag. It can be a long, long year for you. And so I think just trying to create that culture of coming to the ballpark every single night wanting to win, and the rest of the things take care of themselves, and kind of go hand in hand there. But ultimately, we want to develop winners too.
You want to develop winners. I know the people in Chicago are going to love that. They have a lot of excitement around the major league team up there in Chicago. You talked about there was not a big difference for you between things you've seen between managing and playing, but what are some things you've learned in your young coaching and managing career that you want to continue to implement, and maybe your managing style?
Yeah, just continue to have relationships with these guys, right? At the end of the day, they're people first. And a lot of times we can get wrapped up in this business, or, a lot of different other businesses where you look at them as, employees, say, or something like that. I can't speak for everybody, but, a lot of times we get wrapped up in that where people will say, "Oh, he's a baseball player," or whatever. But we got to remember they're humans first. And so I think really the biggest thing for me is getting to know these guys, getting to know them on a personal level, and ultimately that can help us as coaches and in our development process of getting the most out of these guys, to where they feel comfortable enough to, again, come to the ballpark every day and they're comfortable, they're having fun, and they're able to get things off their chest that might be bothering them or what have you, just to find that comfortable state of them being able to come to the ballpark every day ready to get after it.
You talked about having those relationships. You were in spring training for a little bit. It wasn't a long time. Were there some guys that you developed relationships that maybe were going to be coming to Birmingham, and have you stayed in contact with them through this kind of crazy time in our sports world that we are in right now?
Yeah, I think, obviously don't really have an idea on what our team will look like in Birmingham. That'll kind of shape itself out, the further we get down the line here and closer to being out there. But, as far as the relationships, there's a lot of guys that I've had that are maybe going to be in Birmingham or Chicago or Charlotte, that I had 2-3 years ago. So, it's a good group of guys, like I said, top to bottom, that, you really do stay in contact with a lot of guys. And, even some of the guys that you don't necessarily talk to on a month-to-month basis. You know, when you see them at spring training or what have you, it's, you know, the relationship picks up right where it left off, maybe at the end of the year or 2 years ago, because again, it's a high character group of guys from top to bottom that we have.
Well, I know you're excited. You're a competitor. You played baseball at the college and obviously professional level, and then now you're managing. You're a competitive guy. You're really ready to get back into it. I know you're enjoying some family time, but man, baseball is almost here. We're going. It's going to happen hopefully soon, and it's exciting. But we appreciate, man, you coming on, just talking a little bit, and best of luck to you and your family. I know that's exciting. Spend some time with the family. We hope to see you in Birmingham soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, and stay safe. Go Barons.